AITA for giving my mill the wrong address so she could no longer send her granddaughter gifts? I, 42 meters, have been married to my wife, 39F, for 15 years. We have a wonderful 14-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. My wife's mother has some views that I don't agree with. 2 years ago, for our daughter's 12th birthday, she sent her a book about crash dieting that promised something like 10 pounds of weight loss in 3 days. Our daughter was devastated because the underlying message was clear as day. It was a month until she started eating a whole plate of food for dinner again. Our daughter is a healthy girl. She is highly active, studious, and most importantly, happy. Her grandmother believes that she's not reaching her full potential, whatever that means, and thinks that she'll be on the front covers of magazines if she can just shed some weight. Since she made these views clear to me, I have made it my mission to block any unsupervised contact. And this includes gifts. About a month ago, with my daughter's upcoming 14th birthday, Grandma texted me asking for our new address. Normally she would ask my wife, but since she didn't answer within 10 minutes, she texted me instead. My wife would have given her our real address, but I was able to respond first with a fake one and tell my wife no response was necessary. I couldn't guarantee that I'd be home to intercept any gifts, and my daughter would open something addressed to her. It gave her some numbers, a street somewhere that I wasn't even sure existed. A couple of weeks later, after my daughter's birthday, I realized that it did not in fact exist as her package was returned to her. Both she and my wife were furious, and my wife amended the address I gave her before. Grandma insisted it was a completely innocent package. Well, the day it was scheduled for delivery, I decided to work from home. When it arrived, I opened it up and found a baton-twirling uniform. My daughter's hobby. Sound innocent enough? It was at least 2 sizes too small. I sat my wife down with the stupid thing in front of us and said it was clearly intentional, which my wife refuses to acknowledge. Now she and her mother are even madder at me for throwing the uniform into the neighbor's garbage. With the neighbor's permission. Did I handle this correctly? I would be scared that if your wife isn't backing you up on this, is she also telling your daughter these things when you're not there? So, I applaud you standing up for and protecting your daughter. For that, you are NTA. While people are quick to say you are, as you didn't communicate with your wife, given that she refuses to see an issue with her mother doing this. I disagree with Reddit, and you are NTA there as well. Bravo to you for prioritizing your daughter. She needs someone in her corner, for sure. That being said, I would make an appointment for couples counseling and talk to the counselor specifically about this issue. How your wife doesn't have concerns with it. You two do need to communicate and get on the same page. Your mill needs to stop bullying and body shaming your daughter, who sounds like a normal, healthy child. Mill can go pound sand. I would go as far as to talk to your daughter. Does she even want to see Mill? Otherwise, go low, no contact. NTA, she's weight shaming your daughter on purpose and your wife is encouraging it. Be an adult and tell her these gifts are not welcome, and until she realizes her viewpoint is unhealthy and will not be tolerated, she's not allowed to buy gifts or see the kids. NTA. You don't have a Mill problem. You have a wife problem. It's time for you and your wife to have an honest discussion about how she views your daughters. Wait. NTA. Your wife is disrespecting your values as the other parent, and your daughter's mental well-being, in order to enable her mother's incredibly disgusting behavior. You've already experienced the damage it did previously. Your wife is being irresponsible by allowing it to happen again. She needs her eyes open to the harm she's opening her daughter to. NTA mom and granny seem determined to psychologically damage your daughter. In spite of your best efforts to be a responsible parent, maybe you need to have a serious discussion with your daughter about how to ignore ignorant and hurtful people. NTA. Your mill is trying to get your daughter to have an eating disorder. You need to protect her from that. However, the way you went about it was wrong. It was always only going to work once. What you need is something that is the equivalent of a post office box or a parcel locker that you can give your mill. Might be a bit late now though. That way you can be sure to intercept any presents and vet them for safety. NTA. You are trying to protect your daughter from an abusive grandma who sounds like she's doing everything in her power to give your daughter an eating disorder. It sounds like your wife is in denial about the situation or, even worse, condones your MIL's behavior. That said, you and your wife definitely need to work on your communication. Couples counseling may be something to look into. NTA. Your mill is actively trying to hurt your daughter and you are trying to protect her from developing an eating disorder or other mental health issues. As a woman, this kind of garbage was forced on me and all my friends, and I wish we had a dad like you looking out for us. NTA. You need to keep having this conversation with your wife every time Grandma talks about your daughter's appearance, weight, looks and her own special dreams for your child. She was raised by this witch, so it might take a while for it to sink in how abusive this is. NTAX 2638392. I am 22 years old and only now am I starting to mentally recover from minor comments about my weight as a child. Absolutely no child deserves to be made to feel insecure about how they look. And those comments will be with them their entire life. Absolutely do whatever you have to do to shield her from that. NTA. As a person who grew up with family like this, I wish I had a dad who protected me from it. Keep protecting her and try to communicate with your wife. NTA. Your mill is being horribly cruel to your daughter, and your wife is enabling her. As parents, you and your wife's first responsibility is to protect your daughter, and that includes from other family members. Your wife is either so far in denial that she can see pyramids, or she is so far under her mother's thumb that she is incapable of independent thought. In any case, because your wife is either incapable or unwilling to protect your daughter, what you did was not only appropriate but necessary to protect your daughter from a grandparent who is emotionally abusing her. Honestly, if your mill keeps this up, she should not be allowed to ever talk to your daughter anymore, much less send her presents. I can personally attest to the lasting effects of grandparents who regularly tear down their grandkids' self-esteem. What is wrong with your wife? Grandma is trying to give the girl an eating disorder. Why can't your wife see that? First the book that made your daughter not eat right for a month, and now a uniform that's 2 sizes too small. All the while grandma is saying she'd do better if she just shed some weight. What more does your wife need? Your mill is dangerous to your daughter's mental and physical health. Your wife is her enabler. You have a big problem. NTA. NTA. And thanks for trying so hard to protect your daughter from this kind of BS. You've got bigger problems, though. Your wife needs to get with the program. Her blind spot for her mom is bad for her daughter. NTA. Protect your daughter from that woman. And if your wife wants to blind herself, that's on her. Your daughter will have you to thank when she gets older and is more comfortable with herself. NTA. But your big problem isn't grandma. It's that your wife doesn't see the problem. I get it. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I suspect grandma's behavior is not new. I bet she pulled the same kinds of things with your wife as she grew up. Hence the reason your wife sees nothing wrong with what grandma is doing. To her, it's normal. Good in you for protecting your daughter from grandma's unhealthy behavior. Maybe your wife meeting with a counselor or family doctor together can help break through your wife's mental block on this issue. NTA. You handled it perfectly right down to checking with the neighbors about using their trash. Well done, sir. NTA. Thank you for trying to protect your daughter.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.